is it feasible for, teams that have beta stage or even early stage indie games to be able to approach some of these grants and say, we're going to take what we've got here and we're going to apply what you need for the grant to it? Or do these things typically just need to be built from the ground up?
It depends. I think some grants are really good fit for the stage where you have a proof of concept or you have something that can demonstrate an idea in an exciting way. And other times, other grants are really meant um, for something that's more greenfield and more just like a pure paper-based concept. So for example, these days, if you apply for a Department of Education grant, they actually want to see that you've created an MVP, a minimum viable product, and you've done some initial efficacy testing to see whether or not it actually has a positive impact, or there's like any amount of data that suggests that what you're building actually could potentially have educational merit or value. Then there's, instances I'm thinking about with Roboco in particular, where we had actually a pretty fully built out game, and that opened the door to conversations with mostly in that case private funders or nonprofit uh, organizations that we were able to partner with to go after private or public funding because we had something tangible and playable that they could sink their teeth into and say, oh yeah, this lines really nicely with our values and with our goals as an organization, and we would adopt this for our organization if only it had, say for example, in the case of Roboco, we started up a conversation with the competitive robotics organization first, and they ended up funding the addition of Python programming in the game so you can create entirely autonomous or hybrid intelligence robots in the game through Python scripting. So that's a very, very unique, I would say, example, but it only was feasible because we had something that was pretty mature when we started the conversation with them. We actually, and the way I know that for sure is we started the conversation with them far ahead of that when we didn't have the software available yet, and we weren't able to get the conversation very far until there was actually something tangible. So it really depends on the program. There are lots of programs out there that will fund an idea with absolutely without a single line of code behind it, but there are definitely also programs as well that require you to have some data or some software.